Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Days Podcast along with a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and yes, like and subscribe. And I hope you enjoy everything that I will continuously keep putting out. Um, I just did my second Patreon video, so you guys can check that out. I talked about Janet, and we are going to continue talking about Janet in this video because we're going to talk about All For You. So we're going to move forward now because I kind of went pretty much back. I still have to go back because we're going to talk about her first two albums because we talked about the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So we're on the seventh. We're going to talk about All For You. So yes, definitely check out my Patreon video. It is a $5 subscription per month to be able to watch anything exclusive as opposed to this and anything that is free. And you can also be able to have the same access if you would like to prefer Spotify. You can be able to do Spotify, and those same exact videos are episodes that you can be able to watch. Well, not watch, sorry. Listen to on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. You already know. So, either way, you can be able to do $5 on Spotify or $5 on Patreon, whichever you prefer. So, yes, All For You is the seventh studio album by American singer Janet Jackson. It was first released on April 16th, 2001 by Virgin Records. The album's development and theme was rooted in Jackson's separation from husband Renee Elizondo Jr. So in my Patreon, I talked a little bit more in depth about certain things. You guys can be able to check it out. But her being able, as she attempted to move on, like I said. So I talked about that on Patreon and Spotify. Contrary to The Velvet Rope, which saw Jackson tackling darker themes such as domestic violence and depression, All For You showcased a mix of upbeat dance pop and slow R&B sounds, incorporating rock, disco, and funk, as well as soft rock and East Asian music. Its lyrics focus on passion, romance, and intercourse, while also discussing themes of betrayal and deceit. The explicit language and sexual content of several songs sparked controversy, causing the album to be banned in several countries. So, she started recording this in 2000 and was finished by 2001. At the time, she just finished touring. She's doing a new movie, and there has to be a new song. So it's like at the time, there's a lot of people coming out, a lot of new pop girls coming out, a lot of R&B girls coming out. There's just simultaneously. So, what better way is to just make sure people know and still know who the hell I am. Okay? All For You received generally positive reviews from music critics, who commended its upbeat nature and the sonic innovation of several songs. It was also considered one of her sexiest albums and among the best of her career. So, yeah, despite people feeling like, oh, this is too dirty, I don't want it. No. As much as people felt like that, the reality was no, people loved this. People were actually wanting to have things that were sensual and something they can play if they were making love and feeling good about themselves, or even if they was just to themselves, just feeling, just wanting to just listen to some good music. And she just was like, let me put this out there. The album received 3 Grammy nominations, including Best Pop Vocal Album, winning Best Dance Recording for its title track. It became Jackson's 5th consecutive album to top the Billboard 200 chart in the United States. All For You logged the biggest opening week sales of her career, as well as the second highest first week sales for a female artist in Nielsen SoundScan history. So this was like big for her because the Velvet Rope, people were like, oh my god, like she's, is she okay? So when they're seeing her just it's just like, wait, what? She's happy. We see her face. Does anyone understand the timeline? So the timeline is she gave y'all a pose. She was posing, and you know, when it came to Rhythm Nation, you know, she's letting you know, like, listen, listen, get into me. Not, but see, then she said, get into me. You know, like Beyonce is not the only one that did this. Janet did this, but Beyonce showed more of this. Like not Beyonce, but you know, there was Janet had it like right here. Beyonce had it a little bit more, and so it's just like there's a lot of people that be liking to do this, and they ain't the only ones. All I'm saying is Beyonce is inspired by a lot of people in a great way, and I love her for that. Janet just came back and just took it a step further from Janet, as opposed to Velvet Rope, where it's just like I don't want y'all looking at me, and this for a lot of reasons. I'm talking about things I didn't think I'd talk about here, so don't look at me, okay? That's what it was. Not that she was thinking don't look at me, but I'm saying like I guess maybe even it was just a simple just where they're just like, you know what, I like that still, keep that, you know, maybe it was that too, you never know, it could be a little bit of both, but either way it was legend. I'm here for it. Yeah, so let's continue. Where did we leave off? It reached the top 5 of most countries internationally and was the biggest selling international pop album of the year in Japan. Certified double platinum by the RIAA, it has sold over 3 million copies in the US, according to Nielsen, and an estimated 5 million copies internationally. All For You was the 12th best-selling album of the year worldwide, and was one of the best-selling albums of the decade in the United States. Its lead single, All For You, was one of Jackson's most successful singles and broke multiple airplay records. In the US, it was the biggest hit of the year, topping the Hot 100 for 7 weeks, and became a top 10 hit on the majority of singles charts worldwide. Someone to Call My Lover reached number 3 on the Hot 100 within the top 20 internationally, while Son of a Gun, I Bet You Think This Song Is About You, peaked within the top 40 in most territories. Come On Get Up was also released as a promotional single in Japan. So y'all slept on Someone to Call My Lover, because that should have just went number 1. That should have just been number 1. And as far as just Come On Get Up, even though it was released in Japan, they loved it. You know, I would have wanted it to be here. In promotion for the album, Jackson was declared MTV's inaugural icon, receiving a televised tribute titled MTV Icon Janet Jackson. The special honored Jackson's contribution within music and pop culture in recognition of one of the most influential and beloved taste makers in contemporary pop. During that period, Jackson was presented numerous career accolades, including the American Music Awards, Award of Merit, TMF Awards Lifetime Achievement Award, and Recording Academy's Governor's Award. So this was a big deal, and yeah, the development of the album, you know, like I said, she was getting a divorce, and it was, you know, when she was separating from him, it was exposed that they were married for 9 years. So, you know, it was media scrutiny for her with that, because it was just like, we didn't even know you were married for 9 years, girl. Is everything all right? You know, like, we didn't know you was married through the Velvet Rope and Janet period, and right after Rhythm Nation. We didn't know all that. And unfortunately, Um, I'm gonna tell it just like I should as a fan. It was none of our business. So, um, that's just what it was, and she just had to move forward, and you know, going back as far as to songs like "When I Think of You" to "Doesn't Really Matter." Um, they were happy records. That most of them, like these were songs that needed to come out from such a dark time for her, um, that we didn't even know, you know. So yeah, she has said herself, "I call my latest release All For You. The you is my fans who stayed with me and watched me grow. The you is the mysterious force of love that's the source of creativity, and the you is also me. All For You is a suite of songs that helped me move from one emotional level to another. I'm the kind of artist who has no choice but to write what I feel. Velvet Rope took me inside my fears and frustrations. So legendary. Just no skips. No skips. All For You has brought me outside, happy on a natural high, convinced that I really can express joy in the face of pain. My moods are changing. If you listen to the CD, you'll hear what I'm going through. There's anger, hurt, regret, even that familiar vein of severe self-criticism that I can't quite shake. I still can't stand seeing any of my movies of concert tapes. I still cringe when I watch myself act or dance. Yet there's also confidence. I hope this doesn't sound egotistical, but this time I stood alone and crafted my art according to my heart. I feel free, and there's nothing more wonderful than freedom. Um, yeah, the lyrics spoke for themselves. Um, Very ambient. You know, you're so vain. um, yeah, that there was a critical reception of it being, you know, good. But of course, like I said, there were some places that were banning the album, so it didn't really help as far as the ratings go over time, because it was like, it's a great album, but because people are banning it, feeling like it's not a great album because of the taste that they feel it's giving, you know, it's just not nice. But yeah, debuted at number one, selling 605,128 copies in its first week. At the time of its release, it had the second highest opening sales from a female artist, um, only behind Britney. Oops, I Did It Again. Um, and yeah, it just, certain people released at certain times, so you kind of say to yourself, oh, well, that's why it couldn't have been more if it was going to be, because there was already something already in the mist, you know, like it happens. um but yeah, there was controversy. um Despite explicit language, initial album pressings did not contain a parental advisory warning. A clean version of the album was released exclusively at Walmart, censoring several songs for language as well as omitting Would You Mind completely. The album was re-released in late 2001 with a parental advisory label, along with a new track, a remix. A clean version with the added remix was also released. Upon its release, yeah, it was banned in Singapore. Would You Mind would not be acceptable in our society. Is what they said. Oh my God. The country's law officials had previously banned Jackson's prior album, The Velvet Rope, due to 3 songs containing lyrics and about homosexuality. Several retail chains, including, oh, We don't think retailers should have to do that. That's the label's responsibility. Virgin has assumed that responsibility. So, I mean, at the time, you know, I'm not saying things couldn't have been wrong with packaging. Maybe they just wasn't able to. I don't know. They should have somehow did it. I don't know, but this is all alleged. As far as just the fact that, you know, it's just they was trying to make sure she crafted the best work, to be honest with you. But even just hearing the Velvet Rope being banned in certain places, it's like I can't say that's not something that wouldn't take away sales. But she did fairly well. Just great with this album. Let's talk about the track list, okay? Intro, You Ain't Right. No, You Ain't Right is a good song. All For You, Two Way For You, Come On Get Up, When We Ooh. Now, When We Ooh, I feel like y'all slept on. Y'all slept on that. China Love, y'all slept on that too. Love Scene, Ooh Baby. So this is my thing. 5 through 9 was like, well, Come On Get Up, that's, you know, that stands alone. I should say 6 through 9. So tracks 6 through 9, when I would listen to All For You, like, I was just kind of in awe, because I'm like, there is no, this could be its own little EP. Like, it just blends so well. But then she came with the interlude, Lame. Trust to Try, that's a slept on song. I feel like there could have been more for Trust to Try. Clouds, which was an interlude to Son of a Gun with Carly Simon. And that's a great song. Truth, which is very revealing. It's just letting us know, and yeah, it's a 6 and over 6.5 minutes long. Like, it's a long song. Like, we don't often hear long songs from artists, but Janet has made it that, at least for each album, and I'm grateful. Theory, which came on after, which is another interlude. Then Someone to Call My Lover. Feels So Right, that's slept on. Y'all slept on that. Feels So Right. Yeah, no, y'all slept on that. Doesn't really matter. I love that song. It just makes me think back when I was younger. Not just for me, and just y'all too. Things were just much more simple back then. Better Days. That is a slept on song too. I would feel like y'all could have gave that song a little bit more. And then there's the outro. There's a Japanese extended bonus track, which was Who. I don't think I've heard Who yet. I need to hear Who. But yeah, there's the remixes, and wait a minute. All For You limited video deluxe edition. Did I look at this before? I don't know. I've never seen this. So it check it out if it's available. It may be on a online site for you to be able to purchase. But that's the way love goes. If, again, because of love, anytime, any place, you want this. Janet Behind the Scenes, Got Till It's Gone, Together Again, Deeper remix, I Get Lonely, Go Deep, You, Every Time, The Velvet Rope, Behind the Scenes. Oh. So, see, I would have loved this. I wish I had this DVD. It was a limited video deluxe edition. It was limited. So if you had it, you had it. If you don't, you don't. But I would have loved that. to have a DVD of all her 90s music videos and all the and her recent ones. Wait, wait a minute. The only one that wasn't on there was Son of a Gun. So this was in the midst of just, okay, we got All For You, the album's out, and they just kind of put it together, but then she was already doing Son of a Gun, so I still would have loved this DVD. But yeah, it charted #1 in the top R&B and hip hop albums, and Billboard 200, #1 in the UK, R&B, #2 in the UK albums. So it was like most places, yeah, they were just feeling it. They were just a couple that just was like, no. So the Danish albums chart 21. They were like, no. Irish albums chart 16. Italian was in the top 10, so it wasn't too bad for Italian. Scottish top 10. Yeah. It was Japanese albums. It went #4. See, Japan. Listen, don't think for 1 second Japanese people don't love us around here. They love us. If anything, we love them. And I'll be talking more about anime too. So yes, that is the end of our episode and video for All For You. The All For You tour was very much legendary, and it led into her just being able to take things a step further, talking about another album, and that it would become her middle name. And we will talk about that album among other albums, and I will be back with more.